Scott Morrison has pulled off one of the most astounding victories in Australian political history, winning over millions of voters and humiliating Bill Shorten's Labor Party. After admitting the election victory was a miracle, the Prime Minister and wife Jenny today headed to church. Political editor Chris Ullman begins our coverage.
The second coming of Scott Morrison.
I have always believed in miracles.
9 months after his party elected him leader, the people have confirmed it.
How good is Australia?
And an old Liberal legend watched as a new one was born. Early in the evening, Labor's spirits were lifted when a bitter foe was dispatched. Tony Abbott unceremoniously punted from Parliament by his former deputy.
Just before we do this, are you sure it's not too early?
It's about 6 years too late.
3, 2, 1.
I'd rather be a loser than a quitter.
But in defeat, the former Prime Minister predicted the next few hours would hold better news for the coalition.
There is every chance that the Liberal National Coalition has won this election.
And in Queensland, the tide began to turn as another Liberal under siege held on, lifting a famous line from Paul Keating, who had urged voters to put a stake through the Home Affairs Minister's political heart.
This is the sweetest victory of all.
It was a sign that the North was about to present the coalition with a path to a once improbable victory. In the state where Labor once dared dream of snatching 5 or more seats, the coalition turned the tables, instead seizing 2 for itself, Herbert and Longman. The retiring Wayne Swan seat of Lilly may also tumble. There were losses in New South Wales, Gilmore on the south coast and Tony Abbott's seat of Warringah, but offset by wins in Lindsay and most likely Malcolm Turnbull's old electorate of Wentworth. Victoria was supposed to be a Labor bloodbath for the ages, but the coalition emerged unscathed. A similar story in South Australia and in the West, where Labor made no inroads, while big Liberal swings in the Tasmanian seats of Braddon and Bass ensured Scott Morrison's win in the unwinnable election. 57% support in Queensland means the coalition will hold up to 24 seats there, Labor as few as 5. And for a moment, the Blue skipper urged Sydney's heartland to cheer for the Maroons.
How good's Queensland? I never thought I'd hear that.
Clive Palmer claims the new government owes him a debt of thanks for his multi-million-dollar attack ads and preferences.
Our shifty Shorten ads across Australia, I think we've been very successful.
But he paid for a feast and got a famine, polling a paltry 3%. Palmer failed dismally in his bid to win a spot in the Senate. Fraser Anning is even further behind. Victorian Senator Darren Hinch will miss out, ending his parliamentary career. But former Senators Malcolm Roberts and Jackie Lambie look to be back. From the outset, the Prime Minister wanted to narrow this campaign to a choice between stability and risk and the test of 2 leaders.
A little while ago, Mr. Shorten contacted me.
He was gracious in victory.
And I would like to wish him and Chloe and his family all the best.
But nothing could console the true believers as the man thought destined to be the Prime Minister had his hopes extinguished.
I know that you're all hurting, and I am too.
He conceded.
It is obvious that Labor will not be able to form the next government.
As the Liberals man, now liberated from the shadow of 2 former leaders, prepares for 3 years in power.
We will get back to work.
And his mission, like the campaign, is simple.
I said that I was going to burn for you, and I am, every single day.
His mother and his wife burned with pride.
I'm flying. I really am. It is just amazing. I'm lost for words.
I am so incredibly proud of Scott.
But before the work begins, Sunday is a day also set aside for devotions. To give thanks to his God.
I give thanks to live in the greatest country in all the world. Thanks very much.
And cheer on his team.
How good is that win? Well done.
As a Prime Minister who wants to be seen as just the #1 ticket holder in the crowd. A man of faith who has had his faith rewarded.
God bless Australia.
And led his party out of the wilderness. Chris Ullman, 9 News.